Talk to yourself like this for just 3 days. For the next 3 days, the way you talk to yourself will decide everything. Every silent word you repeat is a command to your subconscious, shaping how you feel, how you act, and what you attract into your life. Instead of criticizing yourself, speak with calm certainty. Tell yourself that you are steady, capable, and in control, even if you don't fully believe it yet. The mind doesn't argue with repetition. It accepts direction. When you choose your words consciously, your inner chaos begins to quiet and clarity naturally takes over. Stop asking yourself questions that weaken you. Questions like, why am I not good enough? Or why does this always happen to me? Train your brain to search for failure. For just 3 days, replace them with statements of strength. Speak in the present tense, as if the change has already happened. Say that you trust yourself, that you handle pressure well, that things are aligning in your favor. Your subconscious responds to certainty faster than effort, and what you consistently declare starts to feel real. Talk to yourself like a calm authority, not an emotional victim. When fear appears, don't negotiate with it. Guide yourself through it. Tell yourself to breathe, to slow down, to move forward anyway. This kind of inner leadership creates discipline without force and confidence without noise. After 3 days of this focused self-talk, you'll notice a shift. Your thoughts become quieter, your reactions become steadier, and your confidence feels natural. 3 days is enough to break an old mental cycle and remind you who's in control. You talk to yourself like this for just 3 days, transform your mind, transform your life. Your inner voice is far more powerful than you realize. Every word you silently speak to yourself is like a seed planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. If you consistently speak doubt, fear, or negativity, these seeds grow into beliefs that limit your actions, your confidence, and ultimately your results. But the reverse is also true. If you consciously choose words of encouragement, certainty, and empowerment, you can literally reprogram your mind to work for you, rather than against you. For just 3 days, the way you talk to yourself can make a noticeable difference in your mindset, your energy, and your ability to take control of your life. Most people underestimate how much their inner dialogue shapes their external reality. The truth is that your thoughts and words are not separate from your actions. They are the blueprint for them. When your inner voice is critical, your brain interprets this as a form of reality and it starts acting accordingly. You might find yourself hesitating, procrastinating, or avoiding opportunities because deep down, your mind believes you are not capable. On the other hand, when you speak to yourself with authority and positivity, your mind aligns your emotions and behaviors to match those words. You begin to act with confidence, make better decisions, and attract opportunities that resonate with your new mindset. The first step in this transformation is awareness. Most people speak to themselves constantly without even realizing it. These thoughts often drift from memory, fear, and doubt, creating an ongoing feedback loop of negativity. By paying attention to your self-talk, you can identify which words or phrases are limiting you. Are you telling yourself, I can't handle this, or I'm not good enough? These are the exact phrases that your subconscious mind will accept as truth unless you consciously overwrite them. Awareness allows you to catch these patterns and start replacing them with empowering statements, turning your mind into an ally rather than an adversary. For the next 3 days, start speaking to yourself as if you are already the person you want to be. Use statements in the present tense, not the future tense. Say, I am capable, I am calm under pressure, or I handle challenges effortlessly. Your subconscious does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. It simply responds to repetition and emotion. When you consistently repeat positive statements, your mind begins to accept them as fact, and your emotions, behaviors, and even external circumstances begin to align. This is the core principle behind manifestation and self-transformation. Your inner world directly creates your outer reality. Another crucial element is eliminating self-doubt questions. Most people unintentionally reinforce their fears by asking questions that weaken them. Questions like, why do I always fail? Or why can't I succeed? Train your brain to search for evidence that supports these doubts. For 3 days, completely eliminate these questions. Replace them with confident affirmations. Instead of asking, will I succeed? Tell yourself, I am succeeding in every step I take. This subtle shift in phrasing changes how your subconscious perceives challenges and directs your energy toward solutions instead of problems. Certainty is magnetic. It draws confidence and opportunity into your life. It is equally important to speak to yourself with calm authority rather than emotional intensity. Emotions alone are fleeting, but consistent guidance and repetition create lasting change. When you face fear, anxiety, or hesitation, don't argue with your emotions or try to suppress them. Instead, guide yourself firmly and kindly. Tell yourself, relax, breathe, focus, move forward. This approach creates an inner sense of leadership. You become your own mentor, coach, and guide, giving yourself the clarity and discipline you need to navigate life without relying on external validation or approval. Many people believe that changing their mindset requires months of effort or intensive self-help practices. But the truth is, even 3 days of intentional self-talk can interrupt old patterns and create a noticeable shift in mental state. Why 3 days? Because it is long enough to start rewiring your neural pathways, yet short enough that your commitment feels manageable. In this brief period, you can consciously redirect your inner dialogue, replacing destructive habits with empowering ones. As repetition strengthens belief, you will begin to notice that your confidence grows naturally, your stress diminishes, and your ability to handle challenges improves almost immediately. During these 3 days, consistency is key. Your brain responds to repetition. Every time you catch a negative thought, pause and replace it with a positive, present, tense statement. For example, if you feel doubt creeping in with the thought, I can't do this, immediately replace it with, I am capable and I handle challenges with ease. Over time, this conscious repetition becomes automatic. Your subconscious mind begins to accept these statements as reality, gradually transforming your overall mindset. The cumulative effect of small, consistent self-talk practices is enormous. It reshapes the way you perceive yourself and the world around you. In addition, visualize your statements as you speak them internally. Your mind responds more powerfully when words are paired with mental images. Picture yourself succeeding, staying calm, and navigating life with confidence as you repeat empowering statements. This combination of visualization and affirmations accelerates the rewiring process of your subconscious mind. Your emotions, thoughts, and behaviors become aligned with the version of yourself that you are cultivating, creating a feedback loop of confidence and progress. Finally, remember that this practice is not about perfection. It is about conscious effort and intentionality. You will notice old thoughts trying to reassert themselves, but do not let them discourage you. Simply acknowledge them, then redirect your inner dialogue toward empowering statements. In just 3 days, you will begin to experience a subtle but undeniable shift. Your thoughts will feel lighter, your focus sharper, and your confidence more grounded. The more you continue this practice, the stronger and more resilient your mind will become, allowing you to handle life's challenges with ease, grace, and certainty. In conclusion, talking to yourself with intention is one of the most powerful tools for personal transformation. Your inner voice shapes your beliefs, your emotions, your actions, and ultimately your reality. By consciously choosing words of certainty, present tense affirmation, and calm authority for just 3 days, you can break free from self-doubt, build confidence, and start creating the life you desire. The mind is incredibly responsive. It does not require years of effort to notice change, only consistent, deliberate self-talk. Take these 3 days seriously. Speak to yourself as the person you want to become, and watch how your thoughts, emotions, and life begin to align with the power of your inner words. Stop asking doubtful questions. Talk to yourself with certainty. Most people don't realize how much the questions they ask themselves shape their reality. Every day, you silently interrogate your own mind with questions like, why do I always fail? Or, why can't I get this right? These seemingly innocent questions are quietly training your subconscious to search for failure, to look for evidence that confirms your doubts, and to reinforce a mindset of limitation. For 3 days, if you can stop asking these self-doubting questions and replace them with statements of certainty, you will notice a profound shift in your energy, your focus, and your ability to take action. Questions are powerful, but only when used wisely. The wrong questions keep you stuck, while the right statements unlock your potential. When you ask a question that implies doubt, your mind immediately begins a search for answers. If the question is negative, the subconscious gravitates toward evidence that confirms the fear or limitation you have planted. Over time, this creates a mental pattern of self-sabotage that is difficult to break. For example, asking, why am I not good enough? trains your brain to seek all the moments that support that belief. Instead of solving problems, you are unconsciously reinforcing them. The key is to understand that your subconscious does not differentiate between positive and negative phrasing. It simply accepts what is repeated and emotionally reinforced. This is why deliberate, affirmative self-talk is essential. For the next 3 days, focus on replacing every self-doubt question with a statement of certainty. Instead of asking, "Will I succeed?" declare, "I am succeeding in every step I take." Instead of thinking, "Why does this keep happening to me?" tell yourself, "Everything is aligning perfectly for me." The difference may seem subtle at first, but your mind responds to the certainty of statements much faster than to questions, especially those rooted in doubt. Repeating confident statements rewires your thought patterns, creating a sense of control, focus, and inner strength that cannot be achieved by questioning alone. Speaking to yourself with certainty also changes your emotional landscape. Questions that imply doubt often bring feelings of anxiety, hesitation, or fear. They make you second-guess your actions, overthink decisions, and postpone progress. By replacing these questions with affirmations, you stabilize your emotions. You no longer swing between hope and fear. Instead, your mind begins to operate from a place of confidence and trust. This shift alone can transform the way you respond to challenges, helping you act decisively instead of reacting emotionally. Your inner dialogue becomes a tool for empowerment rather than a source of stress. Another essential aspect is the timing and repetition of your statements. The subconscious mind learns best through frequent, consistent exposure. For 3 days, make it a practice to consciously repeat empowering statements whenever a doubtful question arises. You might do this in the morning, during breaks, or before sleeping, but the key is to be intentional. Each time you replace a question with certainty, you are interrupting a negative pattern and replacing it with a new, empowering one. Think of it as rewiring a circuit. Every repetition strengthens the new pathway and weakens the old one. Within a few days, this practice begins to feel natural, almost automatic, and your mind starts responding differently to the challenges you face. Visualization is another powerful tool to reinforce these statements. Don't just say, "I am capable." See yourself acting with capability and confidence. Picture yourself handling challenges calmly, making decisions with clarity, and achieving your goals. When your statements are paired with vivid mental images, the subconscious mind receives a much stronger signal. Your emotions, thoughts, and actions begin to align with the reality you are creating internally. Over time, this alignment manifests in your external world, allowing you to navigate life with more ease, confidence, and focus. Speaking with certainty also trains your brain to become solution-oriented rather than problem-focused. Questions of doubt often lead you to analyze obstacles endlessly without ever taking decisive action. When you replace them with statements of affirmation, your mind naturally seeks ways to align with those statements. For example, telling yourself, "I handle challenges effortlessly," primes your brain to notice opportunities, resources, and solutions that would otherwise go unnoticed. Your actions become guided by confidence and clarity instead of hesitation and fear. This simple shift in inner dialogue can dramatically improve your productivity, decision-making, and overall mindset. Importantly, this practice is not about ignoring reality or pretending that problems don't exist. It's about training your mind to respond from a position of certainty and empowerment rather than fear and doubt. Life will always present challenges, but the difference lies in how your mind interprets them. By consistently speaking statements of certainty, you prepare yourself to face obstacles calmly, creatively, and confidently. You begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles, solutions where others see problems, and growth where others see limitation. In essence, your inner dialogue becomes a magnet for positive outcomes and constructive action. 3 days of focused practice is enough to start breaking old patterns of doubt and uncertainty. The mind doesn't require months to notice a change. It responds instantly to deliberate repetition and emotion. While 3 days is just the beginning, it is a powerful starting point. By committing to this short, intentional period of self-talk, you interrupt years of ingrained negative patterns and plant seeds of confidence, certainty, and inner strength. Momentum begins to build quickly, and the longer you continue, the stronger your new mindset becomes. In conclusion, the questions you ask yourself matter as much, if not more, than the answers you seek. Doubtful questions train your subconscious to search for limitations, reinforcing fear and hesitation. By consciously replacing them with statements of certainty for just 3 days, you can begin to rewire your mental patterns, stabilize your emotions, and cultivate a mindset of confidence and empowerment. Your inner dialogue becomes the most important tool in shaping your reality. Speak to yourself with certainty, visualize your statements, repeat them consistently, and watch as your thoughts, actions, and life begin to align with the power of your intentional words. In just 3 days, your mind can begin to change, and once your mind changes, everything else follows. Speak to yourself in the present, transform your mind in 3 days. Most people spend their lives living in the past or worrying about the future, and this is especially true in the way they talk to themselves. Your inner dialogue is often filled with reflections on past failures or anxious predictions of what might go wrong. Thoughts like, I should have done better, or what if I fail again? Keep your mind trapped in old patterns, preventing growth and creating stress. For 3 days, if you consciously talk to yourself in the present tense, as if the life you desire is already unfolding, you can create a profound shift in your mindset, emotions, and behaviors. The present tense is not just a grammatical choice, it is a mental strategy that tells your subconscious mind, this is real now, prompting it to align your actions and emotions with your desired state. When you focus on the past, you reinforce patterns of regret, guilt, and self-doubt. Dwelling on what you didn't do or mistakes you've made triggers negative emotions, which then color every decision and action you take. On the other hand, when you talk to yourself in the present, you bypass the mind's habit of overanalyzing and second-guessing. Statements like, I am focused, I am calm, or I handle challenges with confidence instruct your subconscious to live in the state you wish to experience. This simple but powerful shift transforms the way your brain perceives reality, allowing you to operate from confidence rather than fear. The subconscious mind responds more strongly to repetition and vivid emotional experience than to abstract reasoning. That is why talking to yourself in the present tense is so effective. When you declare, I am capable, or I am successful, your mind starts to treat these statements as facts, not hopes. Over time, these statements replace old, limiting beliefs that have held you back. The 3-day time frame is particularly powerful because it is short enough to maintain focus and consistency, yet long enough to begin interrupting negative mental patterns. Even in a brief period, you can start creating a new mental rhythm, one that favors confidence, clarity, and purposeful action. Another crucial aspect of speaking in the present tense is its impact on your emotional state. Emotions are not separate from your thoughts. They are the body's response to your inner dialogue. When you repeatedly tell yourself that you are anxious or incapable, your body reacts with stress, tension, and low energy. Conversely, when you speak to yourself in the present as someone who is capable and calm, your body begins to mirror those emotions. Your heart rate stabilizes, your focus sharpens, and your confidence grows naturally. This alignment between thought, emotion, and behavior is the foundation of personal transformation. By consciously choosing present tense statements, you create the internal environment needed for growth and success. Visualization strengthens this process even further. Simply repeating statements is powerful, but when paired with vivid mental imagery, the subconscious receives a much stronger signal. As you say, I am confident, picture yourself navigating challenges calmly, making decisive choices, and achieving your goals. Feel the emotions associated with this reality: pride, satisfaction, and peace. This combination of words and emotions imprints new neural pathways in your brain, making it easier for your mind to accept this new version of yourself as reality. Within 3 days, this practice begins to feel natural, creating momentum for continued growth and positive change. The present tense also helps you act decisively. When your inner dialogue is stuck in past regrets or future anxieties, decision-making slows down and hesitation takes over. By speaking in the present tense, you train your mind to focus on what you can control right now. Statements like, I am handling this situation calmly, or I am making progress every day, direct your energy toward immediate action. Your brain stops wasting resources analyzing past mistakes or worrying about outcomes, and instead channels your focus into solutions and results. This clarity of thought leads to better decisions, stronger performance, and increased productivity. It's important to note that speaking in the present tense is not about ignoring challenges or pretending life is perfect. It is about choosing a mindset that allows you to respond from a place of strength and possibility. Life will always present obstacles, but the difference lies in how you approach them. By declaring what you want as if it is already true, you prime your mind to find ways to achieve it rather than dwelling on what might go wrong. This approach creates a natural sense of confidence and resilience, allowing you to face difficulties with calm determination rather than fear or hesitation. Consistency is key to this practice. Over the 3 days, make it a point to catch every negative thought and replace it immediately with a present, tense affirmation. Whether you are at work, at home, or even interacting with others, your internal dialogue should be consciously directed toward empowerment and certainty. For example, if you notice a thought like, "I can't handle this," pause and replace it with, "I am capable and I handle everything with clarity." Every time you do this, you reinforce the neural pathways associated with confidence, competence, and emotional balance. Small, repeated actions create lasting change. The power of this practice also lies in its simplicity. You don't need complex techniques, expensive courses, or months of effort to see results. What you need is awareness, focus, and the commitment to speak to yourself in the present tense for 3 consecutive days. Even this short window is enough to break old habits of self-doubt, regret, and anxiety, and to start building a mindset aligned with your goals and desires. The mind responds instantly to consistent, deliberate input. What you feed it today becomes the reality you experience tomorrow. In conclusion, speaking to yourself in the present tense is one of the most effective ways to transform your mindset and your life. Your inner dialogue shapes your emotions, your actions, and your reality. By consciously choosing statements that reflect the person you want to become, focused, calm, confident, you train your subconscious to align with these qualities. For 3 days, commit to this practice. Replace thoughts of doubt with affirmations of certainty. Pair them with visualization and repeat them consistently. You will begin to notice a shift in your confidence, clarity, and ability to act decisively. Once you experience the power of speaking to yourself in the present, you will understand that your mind has been the most powerful tool for change all along. Become your own authority, master your inner guidance in 3 days. One of the most overlooked sources of power in life is the way you speak to yourself. Most people look outside for guidance, validation, and approval, yet the most profound change comes from mastering your inner voice. For 3 days, if you begin talking to yourself as your own calm, firm, and confident authority, you can completely shift the way you handle challenges, make decisions, and experience life. Becoming your own authority means taking full responsibility for your thoughts, emotions, and actions, and refusing to allow doubt, fear, or external influences to dictate how you feel or behave. This inner leadership creates clarity, focus, and confidence, transforming your life from the inside out. Most people live in a state of internal negotiation, constantly debating with their own minds. Should I do this? Am I ready? What if I fail? These internal questions give power to fear and indecision, weakening the ability to act decisively. By contrast, when you speak to yourself as an authority, you issue calm, firm instructions rather than seeking permission from your emotions or the external world. Statements like, "I handle this calmly," "I know what to do," or "I am moving forward with clarity," signal to your subconscious mind that you are in control. Your internal authority then guides your emotions, actions, and decisions, creating consistency and stability that the chaotic mind cannot achieve on its own. The 3-day practice is particularly powerful because it interrupts old patterns of hesitation and self-doubt. When you consistently guide yourself with authority, even for a short period, the subconscious begins to accept your instructions as truth. Over time, this rewiring of thought patterns replaces indecision with confidence and fear with calm determination. Every time you affirm your own guidance, your mind learns to follow your internal leadership rather than reacting impulsively to external circumstances. This is the essence of mental mastery, the ability to remain composed, clear, and decisive, regardless of what life throws at you. Emotions are often the main obstacle preventing people from stepping into their own authority. Fear, anxiety, and frustration tend to dominate internal dialogue, pushing individuals to seek reassurance from others. By speaking to yourself as your own authority, you neutralize these emotions. You acknowledge their presence without letting them dictate your behavior. For instance, when fear arises, instead of reacting with panic, you can internally say, "I see you, but I am in control. I will handle this." This practice creates an emotional buffer, allowing you to respond rather than react, which leads to smarter decisions, better problem solving, and increased resilience. Another critical aspect of this practice is consistency. Your subconscious mind learns best through repetition. For 3 days, make it a habit to catch every negative, doubtful, or reactive thought and replace it with statements of firm guidance. Statements like, I stay calm and focused, I trust my judgment, and I take decisive action gradually override old mental patterns that were driven by fear, indecision, or external influence. With each repetition, your inner authority grows stronger, your confidence increases, and your ability to navigate complex situations improves. This process demonstrates that leadership begins from within before it manifests in the outer world. Visualization also plays a powerful role in reinforcing your inner authority. As you speak to yourself with calm confidence, picture yourself handling situations effortlessly, making wise decisions, and maintaining composure under pressure. When your words are paired with vivid mental imagery, your subconscious mind receives a clear, emotional signal about who you are and how you act. This combination of self-talk and visualization strengthens the internal neural pathways associated with confidence, clarity, and decisiveness. In just 3 days, this alignment begins to feel natural, helping you move through life with authority and self-assuredness. The benefits of becoming your own authority extend beyond personal confidence. They impact your relationships, your career, and your overall life satisfaction. People who are internally guided are less influenced by others' opinions, less reactive to challenges, and more capable of creating the life they desire. When you no longer rely on external validation or direction, you operate from a position of strength. You can set boundaries without guilt, make tough decisions without hesitation, and pursue your goals with clarity and determination. The inner authority you develop over 3 days becomes a foundation for lasting personal power and autonomy. It is important to understand that speaking as your own authority does not mean arrogance or rigidity. It is not about forcing outcomes or denying emotions. Instead, it is about guiding yourself calmly, confidently, and intentionally. Life will always present challenges, but the difference lies in how you respond to them. By consistently asserting your inner guidance, you create a sense of stability and control. You are no longer tossed by the waves of doubt, fear, or external pressure. Instead, you navigate life with a clear sense of purpose, knowing that your decisions and actions are grounded in internal wisdom rather than external influence. The 3-day framework makes this practice achievable and effective. It is short enough to maintain focus and commitment, yet long enough to begin disrupting old, ineffective patterns. Even within this brief period, you will start noticing subtle changes. Your thoughts become more organized, your emotions more manageable, and your actions more decisive. Each day reinforces your inner authority, gradually solidifying it as a natural part of your mental operating system. What begins as a conscious effort quickly becomes an automatic mode of being, where calm, confident, and intentional thinking guides your life effortlessly. To maximize the impact, pair your statements of inner authority with conscious action. When you declare internally, I handle this with clarity, take a step that aligns with that statement. Actions rooted in internal guidance reinforce the subconscious acceptance of your authority, creating a feedback loop of confidence, competence, and progress. This alignment between thought, word, and action accelerates personal transformation and ensures that your inner authority is not just theoretical, but practical and tangible in your daily life. In conclusion, becoming your own authority is one of the most transformative practices you can undertake. For 3 days, commit to speaking to yourself with calm, firm, and confident guidance. Replace doubt, fear, and indecision with clarity, certainty, and purpose. Visualize yourself acting with composure and confidence. Repeat affirmations consistently and align your actions with your internal directives. By doing so, you interrupt old mental patterns, strengthen your internal leadership, and begin to operate from a place of true personal power. 3 days of focused inner authority is enough to start a profound transformation. Once your mind recognizes your guidance, your life will naturally follow. 3 days to break old mental patterns. How focused self-talk changes everything. Most people underestimate the immense power of their own inner dialogue. Every thought, every word you silently speak to yourself contributes to either building your confidence and success or reinforcing doubt and limitation. The way you talk to yourself shapes your emotions, your behavior, and ultimately the reality you experience. For just 3 days, if you commit to conscious, focused self-talk, you can begin breaking old mental patterns that have held you back for years. This practice is simple, yet profoundly effective. The mind is incredibly responsive to repetition, clarity, and intentionality, and even a short, focused period of internal guidance can start to reshape your life. The first step in this process is becoming aware of your habitual thoughts. Most people go through their day on autopilot, repeating phrases like, I can't do this, I'm not enough, or things never work out for me. These recurring statements are not harmless. They are programming your subconscious to accept limitation, fear, and failure as reality. For 3 days, the key is to catch these thoughts as they arise and immediately replace them with deliberate, empowering self-talk. For example, replace, I can't handle this, with, I am capable, and take every step with confidence. By doing this consistently, you are creating a new internal framework, one where your mind supports you rather than undermines you. Another critical aspect is speaking in the present tense. The subconscious mind cannot differentiate between what is real and what is vividly imagined, but it responds strongly to repetition and emotion. Saying, I am confident, or I handle challenges easily, signals to your mind that this is your current reality. Over time, these statements overwrite the old patterns of self-doubt, fear, and hesitation. The 3-day period is enough to begin breaking these patterns, because it is short enough to maintain focus and consistency, yet long enough to start interrupting ingrained mental habits. Even a brief period of concentrated self-talk creates noticeable shifts in mindset, emotion, and behavior. Emotions play a pivotal role in this transformation. Your thoughts generate emotions, and emotions reinforce your beliefs. If you constantly speak negatively to yourself, fear, anxiety, and stress become dominant forces in your life. Conversely, when you intentionally guide your inner voice with positive, confident statements, your emotions begin to align with this new mindset. You feel calmer, more centered, and capable of taking action without being overwhelmed by doubt. This emotional shift is subtle but powerful. It creates a feedback loop where positive thoughts generate empowering feelings, which in turn support positive actions. Visualization enhances the power of self-talk. As you repeat statements like, I am capable, or I am in control, imagine yourself acting with confidence and achieving your goals. Picture yourself navigating challenges effortlessly, making wise decisions, and feeling grounded and strong. This combination of present tense statements and vivid mental imagery communicates directly to your subconscious mind, solidifying the belief that you are already the person you desire to be. Within 3 days, the mind starts aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions with this new reality, allowing you to operate with greater clarity and confidence. A key element of this practice is eliminating self-sabotaging questions. Most people unknowingly weaken themselves by asking questions like, why can't I succeed? Or why do things never work out for me? These questions direct your mind to search for evidence of failure, reinforcing limiting beliefs. For 3 days, replace these questions with definitive statements of certainty. Instead of asking, will I handle this? Say, I handle this with ease and clarity. The subconscious mind responds faster to certainty than to questioning, and consistent repetition of affirmative statements begins to replace the old patterns of doubt with a new sense of capability and empowerment. Becoming your own authority is another critical component. Many people rely on others for validation, approval, or guidance, but the most powerful changes come when you guide yourself internally. Speak to yourself with calm confidence, as if you are the leader of your own mind. Statements like, I am in control of my thoughts, I make wise decisions, or I move forward with clarity create internal authority, which translates into external results. By taking responsibility for your inner dialogue, you stop reacting impulsively to fear or uncertainty, and instead respond to life from a place of clarity and control. Consistency is the secret to transformation. For 3 days, make it a habit to consciously monitor your inner dialogue and correct any negative or doubtful statements. Repetition strengthens the neural pathways associated with confidence, calm, and decisiveness, gradually replacing the old, limiting patterns. This practice is simple but powerful. The mind responds instantly to deliberate input. Even in a short span of 3 days, you can notice a shift in your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors as your internal dialogue begins to guide your actions more effectively and positively. It is also essential to act in alignment with your self-talk. Internal statements alone are powerful, but when paired with deliberate action, they create a feedback loop that accelerates change. For example, if you tell yourself, I handle challenges confidently, take tangible steps that reflect this belief. Each aligned action reinforces the subconscious acceptance of your internal authority, building momentum and self-trust. This combination of words, visualization, and action ensures that your transformation is not just theoretical, but practical and tangible in your daily life. Finally, this practice is about more than just 3 days. It is about cultivating a new approach to life. 3 days is enough to break old cycles and create noticeable change, but the long-term benefit comes from continuing to consciously guide your inner dialogue. Once you experience the power of focused self-talk, your mind becomes a consistent source of support, clarity, and confidence. Challenges that once seemed overwhelming now become opportunities to exercise your calm authority. Decisions that once felt paralyzing become clear and deliberate. Your emotional state stabilizes, and your life begins to align naturally with the person you are becoming. In conclusion, focused self-talk is one of the most powerful tools for personal transformation. Your inner dialogue shapes your beliefs, emotions, behaviors, and ultimately your reality. By consciously speaking to yourself with certainty, in the present tense, and with calm authority for just 3 days, you can begin breaking old mental patterns and creating a new mindset of confidence, clarity, and empowerment. Pair these statements with visualization and aligned action, and you amplify their impact exponentially. 3 days of intentional self-talk is enough to start a profound shift, and once you experience it, you will understand that your mind has always been the most powerful instrument for creating the life you desire. The person you are becoming is waiting inside you. It only requires your conscious words and focused attention to bring them to life.